Okay, are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 8, start clapping! All the way around!
Thank you very much. My name is Orla Shortall and I'm an agricultural sociologist. I got to pick my own job title. Other contenders were explorer of the land-based industries or cowthropologist. And I tell people that I'm interested in why people value agriculture and why farmers do what they do. So that mostly involves me sitting down with farmers to interview them about their job, which really confuses the farmers. Like, it's not like I'm a consultant there to help them improve productivity or efficiency. Like, I'm just interested. And the way farmers talk about their job is quite different from how I talk about my job. Like most people, my job is mostly sitting at my desk, answering emails, counting down the days until we can no longer live on this planet. Farmers' jobs are much more hands-on, like they're dealing with animal birth and animal death and animal sex. And for my current project, I've interviewed about 40 dairy farmers, and my favourite quote was an Irish dairy farmer who said, "Now, I'm not a lover of conventional semen." I was like, well, tell me about your love of unconventional semen. I'm here for this. I mean, he was talking about sex semen, where the calves are guaranteed to be female, because he's a dairy farmer, he needs more female animals. And farmers have an obsession with breeding and a gender progeny matched only by that of the royal family. And like a lot of farmers, instead of having a bull, he buys in semen, so he uses artificial insemination. And it's super weird. I've googled it, and it's just like pictures of bulls side on in fields looking super hench, in like the bovine equivalent of a gym selfie. And the first one I found when I googled it was called semenstore.co.uk, which was the working title for Tinder. And my project is called Cows Eat Grass, Don't They? Because I'm incapable of writing a paper or a project without a silly title. I've also worked on return of traditional cattle breeds to the Scottish borders. Deja moo? I'm glad you like cow puns, there are a lot more to come. And tree planting in upland sheep farms, sprucing up the countryside, or censor sheep. And this project is about different dairy systems in the UK and Ireland. So if you think of a typical dairy farm, are you seeing like cows on a green field, maybe a male middle-aged farmer? You're imagining an average Irish dairy farm. If you're now seeing leprechauns and someone playing a harp, and Michael Flatley, please do stop. And dairy farms in Ireland, about half the size of dairy farms in the UK, very, very, very grass-based. And the EU introduced milk quotas in the 1980s to stop overproduction, and they were removed 5 years ago, and Ireland has doubled milk yield since then. So milk is a big deal in Ireland. Like, there's more cows in Ireland than there are people, which is a little known demographic. And I should say that includes beef cows, because I put that on Twitter and there was quite the flurry of farmers pointing that out. They had some beef with my calculations. There's more. If there's one thing farmers enjoy, it's cow stats on Twitter, even more than unconventional semen. And the Irish farmers were very confused about why I was coming from Britain to talk to them in Cork about cows. I had to reassure them, like, they're not trying to get the land back, and they sent me a reconnaissance. And a lot of them didn't know I was Irish. Like, I was coming from the UK, and I might sound Irish to you, but apparently to the average Kerry dairy farmer, I sound like Judi Dench. It really weirded me out. Like, I started saying top of the morning to people. Because all the Scottish farmers know I'm Irish. And my project is funded by this wonderful organisation called the British Academy that funds arts and social science research. And they had this ceremony to welcome people they'd given funding to. And it was in a big fancy building near Buckingham Palace. That used to be William Gladstone's house. And I was like, fuck, this is going to be intimidating. Like William Gladstone passed the Irish Coercion Act, which was just as fun as it sounds. I was like, what if I get possessed by the spirit of my ancestors and start singing "Come Out Ye Black and Tans" uncontrollably? Although my ancestors were all apolitical farmers, so if I was possessed by their spirit, I would just start talking about the price of sugar beet. And people think "Come Out Ye Black and Tans" is the most Republican Irish song, but if you translate the words of our national anthem, it's actually a lot worse. It's basically a military song trying to encourage people to die for Ireland. So it did for Irish independence what Katy Perry did for heteroflexibility. But the ceremony was the most lovely thing. Like, it was welcoming and inclusive, and I felt left feeling like really lucky that they believed in my cow project, and also a bit tipsy. I am Irish. And William Gladstone, incidentally, had 8 children, 4 girls and 4 boys, so him and his wife, clearly lovers of conventional semen. And the UK dairy sector, like very similar to the Irish dairy sector generally, much bigger farms, still grass-based, women work on the farms, but often it's kind of a male figurehead. But about 20% of farms, the cows don't go outside, so they don't graze. And they do that so the farm can get bigger and produce more, because they feed them higher energy density feed like cereals and oilseeds and cereals such as Cocoa Pops. That was the last one that you will have heard tonight. And so the UK dairy sector, very different to the Irish dairy sector. And when I tell people about indoor dairy farming, people are usually like, oh, is that okay? Like, shouldn't the cows be outside? And it's not up to the project to decide that. That's one of the reasons I do research, so I don't have to make any decisions about the world. But I was interested because it seems to touch a nerve. Like for some people, it touches a nerve about our connection with nature and the place of animals in society. And for other people, it touches a nerve about the vilification of farmers and us not knowing where our food comes from. And other people don't really care, which is fine. If you're just having like a casual chat in the semen store or whatever. And I would say, like, if you're interested, people don't have to agree, but I think it's helpful if there's more understanding. So, like, look into where your food comes from. And my final parting piece of advice would be, don't prejudge any particular types of semen. Thank you very much.